Crossing the Atlantic Ocean for London in the summer of 1773 was different for Phillis Wheatley than it had been for Prince Demah a few years earlier. Unlike Demah, Wheatley was no mariner, familiar with sails and rigging and weather portents at dawn and dusk. She was not accustomed to the rolling sway of waves and cramped quarters of a ship under sail. But Wheatley was familiar with the sea. She had crossed the Atlantic before. For, like Demah's mother Daphne, Wheatley was a saltwater slave. Like Daphne, Wheatley had endured the Middle Passage, existing for weeks in a floating world, as another African woman taken as a child and enslaved near Boston put it. A floating world filled with scenes which her imagination had never conceived of, including the sporting monsters of the deep and 300 Africans in chains suffering the most excruciating torments, and some of them rejoicing that the pangs of death came like a balm to their wounds. Whether it ended in death or survival, it was a harrowing journey. Although Wheatley did not sail on a slave ship this crossing, surely she thought of that first voyage. Senses stir memory. The smell of the ocean, the feel of the wind, the sound of the ship slicing through the waves, the sight of endless water stretching to the horizon, all must have evoked memories of that first transatlantic trip on the ship that ripped her forever, as she put it, from pleasing Gambia and its verdant shores. That ship carried her into slavery and inspired her enslaver's name for her, a ship called Phillis. Poet that she was, Wheatley was attuned better than most to the import of choosing one word rather than another, the power of metaphor to make meaning. Even if she grew up to carry the weight of that first transatlantic voyage more in bodily memory than conscious remembrance, the recurring theme of vast, often rough seas of waves on waves devolving without end in her poems tells us it left its mark. Maybe she felt lighter when the cawing of seagulls alerted her that England was near. Yet for all its discomforts, the journey was worth it. For, like other talented Americans who made the journey, Benjamin Franklin, Prince Demah, and Patience Wright, the Atlantic crossing helped the gold of her genius shine brighter. As it was for Franklin, Britain was a place where she would find herself and her intellect celebrated by famous and powerful people. And as it was for Demah, in London more people were willing to recognize her artistry.